Casual confidence is one of the most powerful social skills that you can have. So if you know who I am, my name's Christian, and I help dateable men remove their social block so they can stop living like closet heterosexuals. I've always been obsessed with confidence. Growing up as a only child in the Lake District, confidence was never something that came natural to me. And the way that I define confidence is the ability to experience success in advance. Because confidence, it doesn't need to be loud. It's not about being the loudest guy in the room. For me, true confidence is more subtle. It's more quiet. It's this internal knowingness that no matter what happens, you can handle it. Throw me in hell, I'll find a way to enjoy it. And something that I install into all my private coaching clients is to simply take one social risk on a daily basis, right? Because for me, confidence is more so the compounding interest of the actions that you take. It's a little bit like going to the gym. If you don't train for a month, you start to feel soft. You start to lose that edge. You start to feel as though you're losing your gains. You know, you don't just get a massive chest by doing one set of bench press. It's the compounding interest of the actions that you take. I've got a guy, one of my new clients who's working with me at the moment, and he didn't just want to work with me because he wanted to unlock the skill of daytime cold approach. He was already going on dates. He was already getting results with the skill of daytime approach, but for him, he still felt socially blocked. He would still avoid certain approaches or certain situations. Maybe he saw a girl he wanted to approach, but there was lots of people around. And for him, he wasn't necessarily scared of approaching, but he had this fear of being seen to be approaching. And this translated into the rest of his life. He was scared of going to a new restaurant on his own. He was scared of walking into a restaurant and looking weird. Yeah, he would avoid these certain approaches where he felt as though there was more social spotlight. And even though he was approaching, even though he was going on dates, he still felt blocked. He still felt socially repressed. He still felt like a closet heterosexual. He still felt as though he was leaving money on the table. And the thing with this guy as well is he creates content on social media. So his income is generated through the content that he produces. But he kept feeling as though when it came to the content side of things, he was making videos inside, in his bedroom. And it felt comfortable. It felt comfortable to give advice, to give value in a more safe environment. So what I said to him was, dude, every single day this week, make one video outside in public. Take one social risk. Do one thing that scares you, that makes you feel socially uncomfortable. And for me, this is how we develop this casual confidence. It's simply taking one social risk on a daily basis. So for you, it might be walking outside, it might be coming to the beach with your shirt off, making a video in public. It might be cold approaching one woman today, just walking over, giving her a strong, hard-hitting compliment. It might be going to a restaurant on your own and bathing in that awkwardness, bathing in that social anxiety mist. Because what I found is, in order to become great at anything, we have to risk not being able to do it. And one of my favorite quotes is, cry in training, laugh in battle. Cry in training, laugh in battle. Because this is what happens with the guys who spend time with me, the entrepreneurs, the business owners, the successful creatives, the guys who fly out to spend time with me in person, the guys who I take through my social renaissance, they're not the same person after this weekend. Because what happens for them? Because for me, true confidence is making other people feel confident in your presence. Yeah, so when guys are in person with me, my approach to life rubs off on them. They become successful through osmosis. They get pushed into more cold approaches, more social freedom activities than they've ever done in their entire lives. And what I say to all my guys is, a few days with me, this time investment, you are investing into the rest of your life. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to push you. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But once you unlock this social God mode, this godly frequency state, where you can experience success in advance, you can approach new people, new opportunities, new experiences, and you might not be certain. You might not have all the answers. You might still doubt yourself. But the thing that I found to be true, I guess a more nuanced version of confidence, is optimism in the absence of certainty. Optimism in the absence of certainty, meaning the more social risks you take on a consistent basis, the more you compound this faith in yourself, which is what confidence is. It's confidence, which means with faith. The more you can start to approach novel opportunities with this mentality, no matter what happens, I'll be able to handle it. The reason why a lot of guys stay average with women, with confidence, with social skills, is because they lack the necessary consequences. Think about it like this. If you set the intention today to go into your city centre and approach 5 beautiful women and give them all compliments, maybe you'll do it, or maybe you won't. But imagine you said to one of your friends, I'm going to go out into my city centre today, I'm going to give 5 women 5 hard-hitting compliments. I will send you the audio recordings to prove that I've done it. If I don't do it, I will wire you $1,000. Now you've burnt the boats. Now you've introduced consequences that make failure impossible. And this is what happens with my guys. The guys who I work with, they're successful business owners, they're successful entrepreneurs, they've achieved a lot in their lives, they're already dateable, they're in shape, they've got money, they dress well. These guys don't lack confidence necessarily, but they do lack consequences. Because when you're out on your own, and maybe you set an intention to take a social risk today, maybe you set the intention to approach a woman, to make a video, to go to a bar on your own, if you've got no witness to your action, the mind can take over because the mind craves comfort, right? The mind doesn't want to do anything that can potentially put it in danger. So often we select comfort over character. But once guys have invested thousands of dollars into my expertise, they've burnt the boats. There's no going back anymore. They've got me in their corner. And I'm an absolute psycho when it comes to getting my clients results. I will run through brick walls to make sure my clients get the results that they want. But what I say to all my guys, the best personal trainer in the world can't lift the weight for you. You need to want this because it's not about doing your best. It's about doing what's necessary. You could pay $14,000 a year for the world's best personal trainer, but if you decide to skip a workout, if you decide to stuff your face with donuts at 11 p.m. on a Thursday, if you decide not to follow the diet, that's on you, right? And with all the guys who I've worked with, the business owners, the entrepreneurs, yada, 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 oftentimes the biggest thing that they lacked in regards to removing the social block so they could uncover their confidence that's already there. This is what I say to everybody. Your natural confidence, it's already there in the same way that every guy's already got a six-pack. It's just buried under a layer of fat. Your natural confidence, your natural charm, your natural charisma, it's there. It's just mainstream societal programming has conditioned you into living your life like a closet heterosexual, conditioned you to living your life in fear, compliance, sedation. And with all the guys who I've worked with, the biggest thing that they lacked was this internal sense of permission, right? They wanted to know that it was okay to do the thing they wanted, approaching a woman. Yeah, so many guys, they see beautiful women who they want to start conversations with, but what do? They think too many steps ahead. They experience failure in advance. They reject themselves on her behalf. And whilst they're playing these mental gymnastics, she disappears into the crowd, never even knowing they existed. And the fucked up thing is, she's gonna end up with some other guy who's nowhere near your level, no richer, smarter, better looking than you, just because he gave himself the permission that this is okay to do. And what I say to all my guys, if you don't approach her, somebody else will. If you don't approach her, somebody else will. I think confidence it's an interesting game because I've been at this confidence game now for the best part of almost 2 decades. I became a magician at 13 years old because I had terrible social anxiety, or I thought I had social anxiety, but I realized I just lacked practice. And we become what we practice. You don't have approach anxiety. Anxiety is not an illness. Anxiety is an emotion. Approach anxiety isn't something that you can catch. Approach anxiety is this thing that the dating industry created to convince you that you need to buy some bullshit $997 course. The only reason guys have resistance to approaching women is because they're not doing it enough. And this is why I do what I do. This is why I invite my clients to spend time in person, one-on-one with me, so I can reprogram what they believe to be true about the world. Because perception's reality. Even if it's not true, we make it true by believing in it. So I truly think that casual confidence is one of the most powerful social skills. And the way that I've built it and the way that I would recommend you build it as well is take one social risk on a daily basis. Allow yourself to invest into the identity of the man who you want to embody. And the final thing I'll say, and this is really important, act as if you already are that version of yourself. Because if somebody put a gun to your head and told you, be confident, you would mimic the behaviors of a confident person. Yeah? Again, your natural confidence is there. You're just not giving yourself the permission to unlock this state. We become what we practice. So you act as if you already are that version of yourself. This is what I did in 2020 when I was a porn addict, I had erectile dysfunction, I just come out of a long-term relationship, I looked like a turnip, I dressed like a moron. Guys used to watch my content online and they used to say, oh, you're ugly, you're a 4 out of 10 at best, you look physically disadvantaged. Now guys say, oh, the only reason this works is because you look good. But when I was first learning this skill of daytime cold approach, all I had was delusional optimism. All I had was this ability to install irrational confidence into myself because nobody else was coming to save me. Yeah, nobody else gave a flying fuck that I was low on confidence, that I had erectile dysfunction, that I was addicted to porn. So what I did is I reversed engineered the version of myself who's talking to you today. In fact, what I'll do, I've got a video that's just appeared on screen and it walks you through exactly how I removed my limiting beliefs so I could achieve the things I knew I was capable of achieving.